But tempers fugits.
Demerits.
We're here now.
Demerits.
We're underway. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is our regular legislative meeting for the Nashville Town Council, the night being Tuesday, August 2, and for the record, the time is 7 o'clock. We have a few things to go through tonight, which we should go through pretty quickly. The first item is consideration of minutes from Thursday, June 30, 2016. There's a call meeting minutes. That was the night we worked on the issues about the business district. Does Chair have a motion to approve these minutes as written?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of June 30 as written. Is there any discussion? If there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Okay, the minutes are approved. We had no request for citizens' comment, so we'll move to items of consideration. Many of these things were handled in a public hearing session last Thursday night. As you know, I was out of the country, and I picked up on some of the things that happened, but it looked like there was no great problems. Item number one is consideration of an application for a permit for a street event for the Nash County request for the temporary closure of a portion of Body Street between Washington Street and Elm Street. This is in relation to the construction of the courthouse, and they want to close this. They ask them to close the street for 2 years, which they say is temporary. Following the hearing of last Thursday night, I assume there were no major problems on that. Does the chair hear a motion we approve this consideration?
So made.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the consideration to allow the county to close up Washington Body Street between Washington and Elm Street for 2 years. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, just make a note that their request to close Body Street was not for all the way down to Elm. It's only to beyond the gravel parking lot, so that you can be able to come in from the.
This is correct, but they're also going to use 2 lots across Elm Street for laydown yards, and they're going to be hauling building materials all up and down Body Street from Elm Street back up to the part they've asked to close. So physically, I guess they'd be closing the whole street for their purpose.
I think probably,
They're asking for half of it, but end up using all of it. Okay.
They don't want to block off the jail and the magistrate's office.
All right. And this is temporary. Now, this is not permanent. This is,
Right.
make sure everybody understands it. If it goes 2 years, a long time, and if everything goes and whatever, ice age comes by and we all freeze to death, they only get in the road for 2 years. Okay.
And Dawn Hall, when she spoke on it last week, she did say that it was not going to be closed the full 2 years, that they would intermittently open it back up when it was not needed to be closed, and so it won't be a complete 2-year time period of closure.
We'll hope there's credence in that comment. Hope. Okay, other discussion? If not, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Accordingly, the issue is resolved. Item number B is consideration of application for a permit for a street event for the Ward Street Block Party. This also was heard last week, and I understand there were some questions from some of the neighbors about who was going to be there and different things, but there was no real issues with it. Does the chair hear a motion to approve this permit?
So made.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We approve the request for the street event. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Let's see. Item C is the discussion, consideration, ordinance amending the text of the Town of Nashville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 36, Traffic Vehicles, Article 4, Parking. It seems that the request has come to us again for Drake Street to use a parking space between the sheriff that we approved and the clerk that we've approved for a Superior Court judge. In this case, it's Quentin Sumner. Does the chair hear a motion we approve this consideration?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Are there any more coming?
Please, state your name. This is not a public hearing, but you may answer a question.
Afternoon. This is Brandon Medina with Nash County Sheriff's Office. This should be the last change. I think what we're looking to see is that everybody's satisfied with the current arrangements that we have after this one here, and we should not be coming before you again to.
Because we're running out of street.
So we,
Yes, ma'am.
so we shouldn't hear from the head jailer or anybody like that.
We have designated parking for them, sir.
Okay, he's okay.
Yeah, we should not hear, you should not see anything again from the sheriff's office asking for another
Okay.
You
parking.
don't think we'll be getting any requests?
No, you will-
from the district court, the district judges?
Not from, that I'm aware of. Once the new courthouse is erected, they'll have designated parking on the side of the building for them, so it won't be an issue.
West side parking lot should suffice.
It should suffice. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Other comments? All in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. That is done. Item number 6 is consideration of a resolution authorizing the payment of invoices, which, if I can get my finger on it, if you will look at this thing, we need to create this resolution to pay some invoices for some expenditures that took place during the week and around the week of the old and new budget year that that slipped through the cracks of the pre-auditing process. And because this money was not officially budgeted in either last year's budget or this year's budget, we have to resolve to pay the bills by legislation instead of through administrative work that our finance person can do. So, so far, we got $606.44 worth of assorted things to different places, as you can see. Let me read the resolution. All resolutions have to be read. It says, whereas the North Carolina general statutes require a pre-audit to be performed by the finance director before the town incurs an obligation, and whereas the general statutes state that failure to perform the pre-audit requirement makes the contract, agreement, or purchase order void, and whereas general statutes further provide if an officer or employee of a local unit incurs an obligation or pays out or causes to be paid out any funds in violation of a pre-audit statute, he and the sureties of his official bond are liable for any sum so committed or dispersed. And whereas general statutes also provide if the finance director disapproves a bill, invoice, or other claim, the governing board may step in to approve a payment, and that's what we're doing now. Now, therefore, be it ordained on behalf of the mayor and the town council that through this resolution, the Town of Nashville Town Council does hereby approve the following invoices for payment. And there's 16 of these listed, 2 to AutoZone, Bass Brothers, Napa, NCDOT, Strickland, and Arc 3 Gases, for a total of $606.44. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the permanent records of the Town of Nashville, adopted this second day of August 2016, excuse me, with appropriate signatures and attestations. This is a matter of supervisory work about some of these things that's got listed, and our manager's working on this to make sure this doesn't happen again. But anyway, we need to get the bills paid. Does the chair hear a motion to approve the resolution?
So made. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the resolution. Any discussion?
I've got a question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Just about every one of these bills or related probably came from our maintenance department. What do we do in a situation where they have an emergency need to get something right now to finish a job? I mean, they're in the middle of something breaks and they need something right now.
Yeah, all that stuff's in approved line items. And if the money is approved in a gross number, and if they have a breakdown, say a lawnmower or something, they can buy the stuff because the expenditure is already approved in the general budget. These are things that miss the general budget. Okay?
I don't recall that we ever have done this before. Is this something that just,
This is something we've done to keep up with the pre-audit laws.
Right. We've had some recent changes to the audit laws that have made the requirements for expenditures of funds stricter. And this occasion arose because we had some expenditures that occurred because we had a week that ended a fiscal year and also started a new fiscal year. And these items were not appropriately encumbered through the appropriate process. So there were none of these expenditures that were used to buy anything that we typically have not made purchases for, but we typically have to go through a purchase order process or a green sheet process. Many of these items would have gone on one of our green sheets, which is a previously pre-audited form up to $100. These expenditures did not go on that form because the green sheet was not distributed that week, because it crossed into a new fiscal year. So their expenditures were encumbered without being put on the sheet because we did not pass them out because a year was closing.
Okay, other comments?
it's just that we've never done this before, and one
Absolutely.
explanation.
Yeah. I'm sure this has happened before, we just never chased it from pre-audit regulation.
Well, rules have changed.
That's
The
right.
rules have changed, life changes. Okay, further comment? Be all in favor of the consideration, indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, we are done. Okay, the next item is consideration of fiscal year 2016 and 17 budget amendments, of which there are 4. If you look under the yellow tab, you'll see that the first item deals with how we account for motor vehicle taxes. Now, we have in the past used motor vehicle taxes as part of just general ad valorem taxation collections. Our auditors wanted us to separate it out, the difference between property taxes and motor vehicle taxes being a separate kind of property for reasons satisfactory to themselves. It's the same money, same numbers, same everything. And the second item deals with an increase in the Shop with a Cop program that the police department runs for children at Christmas, and that we received $650 that we had not anticipated. So the amount increased from $2,500 to $3,150, which is good for us. The third item deals with a movement to increase the cost of police vehicles. You know, we've been buying police cars on contract for years, and we passed last year's budget to buy police cars at the price that was set on the contract. Meanwhile, going into this budget year, that contract price increased, which we had not planned for, by a total of $408. So we had to increase that budget as we increased that capital outlay figure
Is that for 2 vehicles?
Yes.
to buy the cars. And then the fourth item deals with the CFE project, where we are moving money into the project to increase our 10-inch outflow pipe to a 30-inch pipe. And you'll see that the money was appropriated from fund balance in the 10-399-000 line by $699,575. That was down from $999,000 or something, because we received $292,425 in the rural infrastructure group, as you see up on the previous line. And then, interestingly, the next item deals with having to add $9,201 to abandon the Elm Street lift station, which is, I guess we have to fill up the hole or something, which we had not budgeted. But if you look on the following page, there is a resolution covering that issue, which has to be read and approved. Now, we can do this in 2 ways. We can approve the first 3 things to the last one, because it has a resolution that has to be approved. We can do that independently, or we can do them all collectively. What is your pleasure?
There's no question, I think we just need to
Do them all collectively? Okay. Let's move forward then with the CFE amended capital project, which you'll see under the blue tab, which leads out of the budget amendments. You'll see that this deals with the increased money coming into the fund here, which is an amended capital project ordinance. You remember we approved a capital ordinance to do the project before, but now that we're upsizing the line, it has to be restated. As it be it ordained by the governing board of the Town of Nashville, North Carolina, that pursuant to section 13.2 of chapter 159 of the general statutes of North Carolina, the following capital project ordinance is hereby adopted. Section 1, the project authorizes part of an economic development project associated with Carolina Innovative Food Ingredients. In Section 2, the officers of the Town of Nashville are hereby directed to proceed with the capital project within the terms of the adopted resolutions and the budget contained herein. In Section 3, the following amounts are appropriated for the project: a surveying, design, permitting, engineering, what is PER? Personnel?
It's permitting.
Permitting. Okay, $92,500. Grant administration, $47,500. Construction inspections, $27,200. Easements, $32,200. Construction of the Elm Street bypass, $69,300. Construction of the gravity outfall line, $1,530,799. A contingency fund exists of $112,600. And then the fee to abandon the Elm Street lift station is $9,201, for a total of $1,921,300. And the following revenues are anticipated to be available to complete this. The Town of Nashville now has contributed $699,575 out of our fund balance. And the Golden Leaf Foundation has given us $200,000. The Economic Infrastructure Program has given us $450,000. The Community Block Development Grant has given us $479,925. And the Town of Nashville, through a CFI loan, has received $69,300, which we are paying back. And the Carolina Gateway Partnership gave us $22,500, for a total, again, which balances out with the expenditures of $1,921,300. In Section 5, the finance officer is hereby directed to maintain within the capital project funds sufficient detailed accounting records. In Section 6, the funds may be advanced from the general fund as necessary for the purpose of making payments due. In Section 7, the finance officer is directed to report on a quarterly basis the financial status of the project. And Section 8, the budget officer is directed to include a detailed analysis of past and future costs and revenues on this capital project in every budget submission made to this board for the duration of the project. And Section 9, copies of this capital project ordinance shall be furnished to the clerk of the governing board and to the budget officer and the finance officer for direction in carrying out this project. That will be adopted this day, the second day of August 2016, again with signatures. Is the chair here a motion we approve the budget amendments and the revised ordinances and everything in one package?
Do we have any questions?
Yes. Well, before we go to the questions, let's get a second on that, because we can't have discussion until we get a second on.
Motion made.
The motion is made.
Second.
Second's made. All right. Is there any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I'm concerned about the word anticipated. Is all this, I know the town money, we've gone to fund balance, we're like $700,000. But all these others are in place, the $200,000, $450,000, all
Yeah,
that?
it's all in place.
Okay,
It's
so
all-
it's not anticipated, it is?
No, it's not in limbo, it's not in receivables, it's in hand.
Okay, as far as the finance officer doing a quarterly report, with a project this big, we're talking about $2 million, should we have something more frequent, do you think, rather than quarterly?
As I understand the way construction works, with the slowness of what they have to do, every 90 days is considered a speedy report, because 30 days is not giving them enough time to turn around until they get into the end of the project where things really start coming on quickly.
But this has been very slow
But-
to get started,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, but if you want one every 30 days, I don't see why we can't.
They do a draw, most of the time, the construction companies do a draw once a quarter.
Yeah.
They don't get any money until the quarter's up. That's very rare for a construction company to get paid every 30 days on a project this size.
So is there a timeline, when are they gonna get started? This has been
When-
slow to get off the ground.
I keep hearing we're gonna get started up sometime in the fall. Now, when in the fall?
I don't have a precise date at this time.
There was no one here Thursday
Right.
night.
Hey. Yes, our timeline right now is we have got to get easements. We are going to be meeting with the property owners the end of August, early September. Our goal is to have all easements in hand by late October or November at the latest. We're planning on bidding this project out the end of this year, late December. We're hoping to award the contract in January. And then, just like with the sidewalk contract that you recall, March 15th is a unified date that people accept for being able to start a project. We hope to start somewhere around March and then get the thing completed by the end of December. But I do anticipate that the project will be through before December if they can start and have good weather. That is the general timeline that I can share with you right now. But in all fairness, with a project of this magnitude, things are subject to change, and I'll keep you abreast of those.
So this, at this moment, your best guesstimate for completion would be December of 2017.
Yes, sir. That's what we're anticipating for right now.
Okay.
And the linear feet has been reduced from 7,800 to 6,850.
I'm not sure how that
We
happened.
changed. We had to change routes, which is why we're here. Is because with the different size pipe, the route changed a little bit.
So shorter.
Where you don't have to go to the lift station, you bypass the lift station.
Okay. Now, there's a second ordinance in that also, we're doing this in a package. The one he just referred to is changing the scope of the project. which we did not read, which is very brief. It says, whereas the Town of Nashville received funding for a community development block grant to benefit the CFE, and whereas the town wishes to change the scope of the project activities, including the installation of approximately 6,850 linear feet of 30-inch sewer line and abandonment of the existing Elm Street lift station. And now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council that the Town of Nashville is authorized to amend its community development block grant project to make such changes as required and approved by the North Carolina Department of Commerce, adopted this second day of August. So that includes increasing the sewer line, it includes the amended funding to fund the sewer line, and it changes the first three amended things for the budget. Okay? We agreed on this collective vote. Okay, all of what we're doing. Okay, is there any further discussion? We had a motion on all this, and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Got that done. Okay, well, we did all of that, CFs and G, so we're all finished. Mr. Manager, what's your report?
Thank you, Mayor. We've sent out 156 business registrations following the passage of our 16-17 budget, of which 27 have paid up to date with that new fee. I'd like to announce that Tina Price has received her certification certificate for her certified zoning officials course she took a few months ago. In our police department, we provided 4 officers in support of Castelia's fireworks celebration for July 4th. Recapping that our police chief met with Michael Botticelli in the Office of National Drug Control Policy in Washington, D.C. Past month, and had Hope Initiative presentations at Campbell University, Coastal Plain Hospital Outreach, Birch Community Watch Meeting, and the White House. He's also not here tonight because he's Chief Bashore is the guest speaker for Nash Community College's BLET graduation.
Good.
We also right now are having our night out against crime, which is near conclusion. That's going on from 5:30 till 8 o'clock tonight out at Glover Park. In our fire department, we partnered with the Nash County Sheriff's Office on July the 19th for their summer camp and gave the children an opportunity to tour the fire trucks and see the fire department facilities. And the Public Works Department, Slurry Pavers, who's doing our paving work, is planning on being in Nashville on Monday to start their process. Their plan is to hopefully complete the work in 3 days, though at a worst case scenario, depending on weather, it could take a full week to complete that paving effort.
What streets are they paving?
That's in our map.
It'd probably be easier if I just pass the map out.
I'm sure residents of Nashville would like to know, you know,
Well,
when the streets are being
Yeah, we need
paved.
to put some door hangers.
We will.
Let
Well-
them know the street's gonna be closed.
The Slurry Pavers is responsible for doing that. That was one of the terms in our contract, is to inform individuals that this will be taking place.
Okay.
You gonna get them all done in 3 days?
That's their plan.
So everything that's green will be this time around in 3 days.
That's the plan.
Okay.
I mean, that all depends on weather. Now, if it's raining, it's hard to do paving work in a
Right.
thunderstorm.
Okay.
But if all weather is good, you know, their plan is to complete this work in 3 days. Now, this is a new company we've never worked with before, so we hope all is well, but that's what we're being told, is that's how long it'll take them to complete the work.
Does all of Virginia Avenue belong to the town? Yeah, or the one in front of the elementary school. That street got built extra wide for school buses years
Right.
back, and I was told way back that the county had some interest in that street because it widened it up for the school buses. Are we paving some of their streets, or does anybody know?
That should be the town street, as far as I know.
Now, same way with Joyner Street too, beside the school. Their buses tore our street all to pieces several years ago, and they resurfaced it for us. So, I don't know if they claim any ownership of it or not. Okay, they gonna do all this in 3 days?
That's the plan, Mayor.
Okay.
Our Public Works Department's been pulled away from some of their regular assignments over the past couple of weeks to do some of this work with filling potholes using this infrared machine and our asphalt recycler. So they've fallen behind somewhat on some of the grass cutting. So now that that work is near completion for slurry to come in, they're doing their best effort to try and catch up on some of the grass that is overgrown in town. I can report that we've had 10 tons of asphalt recycled so far at a cost of $8.40 a ton. This is compared to making a purchase of the asphalt at $78 a ton.
Wow.
So that's a total savings as of today of $696. And when it comes to the melted and reworked asphalt from the infrared machine, that's cost us $76 in the use of propane to fuel the machine. Throwing in the equivalent amount of asphalt to fill in, it'd be, again, another $78 a ton with 4 tons used, a savings of $236. So the use of these two pieces of equipment has already saved the town of Nashville a total of $932.
And we plan to use it for the next 30 years?
That's the plan.
Okay, so we should save $1 million, shouldn't we?
Will we be taking in other towns' asphalt that they can't recycle?
If someone's willing to donate the asphalt, we'll certainly look at taking it. Right now, we don't have a shortage, but when we use up the asphalt we have, we'll look at other avenues of collecting it.
Would we be interested in selling small amounts of asphalt to towns that need small amounts? Because we had trouble getting asphalt in small amounts.
I don't know how you do that. I mean, you can't.
Well, Spring Hope wants 2,000 pounds of asphalt. Could we crank it up and sell it to them?
And we wouldn't be able to do that kind of volume.
Okay. Sounds pretty simple to me.
And
Well, how much asphalt will that great big Turner thing hold? They're like 300, 400 pounds? It's a huge amount they threw in there.
yeah, I can't give you an exact number right now.
Okay, well, I was just thinking about trying to make some money with it when it's not being used.
Sure. And that would be
Okay.
the plan in the future to hopefully avoid the issues with grass. In the future, we can use this machinery all year long. But right now, it's had to be rushed. As soon as we got it, we hit the ground running with using these pieces of equipment during the hottest part of the year.
Yeah.
And that's been something our guys have been working through. In our library, the Dewey Decimal Project undertaken by our library director and her staff has been completed. And they've recently purchased and catalogs 47 new books for the month of August.
I have a
And-
question about that. We went off the Dewey Decimal System. Was that correct?
Yes.
Katie Montgomery, Library Director. Yes, the library had formerly been completely off of the Dewey Decimal System. Everything was organized similarly to a bookstore. So things were organized in a travel and leisure section or a DIY section or a health section, and it was rather difficult to locate where books actually might be found.
So the rationale for going back to the Dewey is to get back to traditional library structure?
There are several rationale for it. First of all, yes, because we need to be able to find things, but also because the State Library of North Carolina has dictates that we were not in compliance with. They ask that we have an organization system that is either Dewey or Library of Congress unless there's a special circumstance, like if we're a medical library or another kind of special library. So this gets us back into compliance with what the state library asks for from public libraries.
So during that time, we were not in compliance?
Yes, ma'am.
Gee.
I'm glad you went with Dewey and not the Library of Congress, because I work with the Library of Congress system. It's quite complex.
Most public libraries in the United States
was
do Dewey.
Dewey was always famous for having the card catalog.
Yes.
Are we going to have that, or are we on a computer with it?
We have what is called an online public access catalog, and everything that we have cataloged in the library is available on our library's website on the ucmore.nashville.com site.
Okay.
So you can go in and look up any book that you're looking for. It will tell you whether we have it, if it's checked in, if it's checked out, and what the location is.
Okay. Well, that was improvement over the dirty cornered cards we used to have to work through.
Yes.
In little wooden drawers. Yeah. Neat. Okay.
I was concerned that, during that time when we were loosey-goosey, I guess, that things had just gotten more liberal and, and we'd gotten away from structure.
It was
That's not-
actually a structured program that several libraries were trying at the time, trying to get the public back to libraries to make it more like a bookstore so you could just browse. And it was a system of organization, validly a system of organization. It just didn't work out to be as well. You being a former English teacher, you know that it would be hard to tell somebody to just go look for a book. Somewhere over there in the DIY section, you'll find Jane Austen. It doesn't work out very well. So we went back to Dewey for more organization and for compliance.
I know it did create a complication for us where we have books that may fall into multiple categories, and we didn't have the same book in each section, so someone would have to work through each section of the library to find one particular book. So it was actually more, in an effort to try and make it simpler, we actually made it more difficult.
Yeah, now you can beeline straight to a book.
So we're back to the way things have always been.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for your effort.
Thank you.
Dewey's always been good. At least it's been arranged by color. Thank you. Other comments?
Yes, on our Parks and Recreation Department, I'd like to highlight, we have a lot of kids going out there for playing the Pokemon Go. So we have what are called hotspots out there in a gym that a lot of kids are using. So if you see people or hear about people walking around with the cell phones out looking at the park, that's what they're doing it for. And we are getting a lot of interest out there at the park for that use. Let the public know about that. Those things do exist out there. And Hornets football and Hornets cheerleading did see an increase in enrollment this year. We have 75 kids in football and 45 kids signed up for cheerleading, and practice began on July the 25th for that. Really exciting. We haven't been able to offer soccer for the past 4 years, and we've really made an effort to try and recruit and be able to offer our soccer to the public this year. And we broke it up into several age groups, and in the past we only had 10 total kids sign up for soccer as of last year. This year we had 60 kids sign up for soccer.
Was that because they haven't reflective our reduced rates?
We believe it's partly reflective of reduced rates and also a recruiting effort by staff and members of the public.
Good.
So far, our 3 to 5 age group, we've had 34 sign up, 6 to 8, we've had 15, and our 9 to 11-year-olds, we've had 11 sign up so far. We attempted to have a 12 to 15-year-old age group, but so far had not received enough kids to sign up for that. But we anticipate having 4 teams for the youngest group and 2 teams apiece for the 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11 group. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Any questions for the manager? If not, it's time for council comments. Mr. Taylor?
No comments tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Taylor?
No comments tonight, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Henry?
I have to say I enjoy reading the minutes, and I did read them this time. And I was telling Lou that because we didn't have as many presented to us at one time. And I enjoy reading them because there's a lot of give and take. And I mentioned that to you, Mayor. And for instance, the give and take between you and Councilman Coleman concerning the minutes and what is dictated by the school government and whatnot. But anyway,
Glad you
I
enjoyed.
do think that words matter and what we say matters. And the day that we don't acknowledge that, maybe
We would all communicate together. don't
that's
we?
right. It's very important. The nuances of what we say, what we advocate for are a part of the public record, and our citizens should know it.
Completed?
I'm done.
Ms. Cole?
Well, no real comments. Just wanted to say, missed the last meeting. My family and I took a trip up to Boone. Had a great time at Tweetsie Railroad. But I will say I enjoyed watching the council meeting on YouTube the day after the meeting was over and hearing all the comments and things that happened or whatever. And so it's nice to be able to have the videotaping and the immediate posting on YouTube afterwards and those things being archived on there. I appreciate your efforts in doing that. So thank you.
Yeah, that is a good resource. It certainly is. Okay, well, I would thank everybody for standing in for me while I was gone. Like Mr. Coleman, I too left town. I went to British Columbia. We had an 82-degree day out there. Everybody thought they were having a heat wave. It's unbelievable. But it was beautiful country. If you ever get out there, it's really, really a neat place. I saw some trees that were unbelievable, which they said were small trees that were only 300 feet tall. Unbelievable. Nice place, though. Okay, everything being said and done, it's now time to close it up. Does the chair hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded with adjourn. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Accordingly, we're adjourned. Thank you, sir. I didn't want to get Louise. I didn't want to leave the image I had brushed you off.